Hi and welcome to the Belfry. You've joined me out on the Brabazon golf course today. This is the fourth hole. We're talking about the driver, and I'm going to go through what I see as the three most common mistakes golfers make when hitting the driver. Just before we get started, in the corner of the screen you should have the details for my social media accounts, so if you don't already then please go ahead and follow me on those. So certainly we know that we can lower your scores if we can hit that driver certainly a little bit straighter and possibly a little bit further as well. And what we're going to do in this video is, as I say, look at the three things that I see as being the most common mistakes across the golfers that I see. Now, one of these is at setup, one of these is actually through the golf swing, and one of them is actually right down at the impact in terms of how we deliver the club to the ball. The driver is an extremely difficult golf club to use. It's the longest club in our golf bag, and bar the putter, it's got the least loft. That makes it more difficult to hit the middle, and it makes it more difficult to control the direction. And those are really the two things that golfers are trying to do: hit the middle of the golf club to give them more distance, and certainly control where that ball lands. So, number one fault that I see would be the upper body aligned or aiming too much to the left of the target. Target in this case being the centre of the fairway. So, most golfers that I see are very aware that with the driver, the ball has to be positioned much further up in the stance. So as you can see, that golf ball is close to being just inside my lead heel. Now, when we see that happening with the driver, we very often see that coinciding with the upper body aligning too much to the left of the target, as you can see there. Now, what that really does is, from the front view, it really means that I haven't got enough angle in my body to the right. My right shoulder's a little bit higher than it needs to be, and my buttons or my zip on my top is pretty much directly above my belt buckle. What that really does, it really sets me off on the wrong sort of path from the start, if that makes sense. What we'd like the golfer to do is, yes, play that golf ball up in the stance, nicely forwards, nice high T-peg, but we really need to make sure that the lead shoulder is higher than the trail shoulder. The buttons on your shirt or the zip get slightly behind the belt buckle, so we've got some tip away to my right. And certainly from the down the line view, our upper body alignment matches our lower body alignment. And that's really, really important, because that's going to help us move that club in a much better fashion on the way back, and it's going to ultimately affect how the golf club is delivered to the golf ball. So the first thing I see golfers doing wrong, or the fault that I see, is right at setup, is getting the shoulders aiming left, the upper body too much on top of itself rather than tipping away from the target to the right. The second fault that I see from golfers when they struggle with a driver is a club face which is too open or too twisted to the right through the downswing. When this happens, when the golf club gets twisted to the right, we're going to find a couple of things that would result. Either I'm more likely to hit that golf ball way off to the right of my target, and when we've got the driver, we don't need that club face to be much out at impact to cause me to miss that fairway, or we see that golfer make a huge recovery process in the last sort of third of their downswing in an attempt to hit that golf ball straight. Some golfers do this quite well, but they generally don't hit the ball on the curve that they would like, and they generally don't hit the ball anywhere near their potential distance. So what I would like you to feel is, from the top of your golf swing, I want you to feel that the logo on your glove twists to point away from the target. So away from the target in this instance is back towards the camera, and hopefully you can see from that camera angle that I can't see that logo, it's more visible to the camera. The golfers who get that club face open, of which there are a lot of these golfers, the logo on the glove tends to face them more than it does away from the target. So certainly from this viewpoint I can see the logo. I want to feel like I point that logo back towards the camera, or when you're playing away from the target. That is going to help you control the club face, because the club face being open is such a common fault that I see, and with the driver it is so difficult to rectify that in the last, to say, third of the downswing. So there's our first 2 points. The third thing that I see golfers doing wrong, and this is very, very often linked to those first two, if that golfer falls into the habit of those first two, so the setup's not quite right and the face gets a little bit open at the top, we very, very often see the golf club approaching the golf ball with too steep an approach. we often see golfers hitting slightly down on the driver. Now, a slightly downward hit is fantastic for all the other clubs that you're going to hit off the ground, but with the driver, we would like to hit that golf ball on the upswing. As I said a minute ago, a lot of these golfers who hit down with the driver, it's a result of them falling into the habit of, number one, the shoulders open, number two, the club face opens, and then they hit down because that's often the best way for them to deliver the club with those earlier faults present. However, if we can get the setup right, we can get the club face under control, we can then start to look at hitting up on the golf ball, and that is a fantastic way to really optimize your distance and get the most out of your golf swing. You will see on the ground I have got around about 6 to 8 inches behind the golf ball, and in front of the golf ball I've got 2 tees. The one behind is pushed right the way down into the ground, and the one in front I've left that kind of at the normal height that I would tee my driver up. Just pull that a little bit higher. And this is what I call the hit and miss drill. This is something which is really just trying to build a picture in your mind as opposed to any technical thoughts that you might have. I want you to feel that when you are hitting this golf shot, your golf club would be very close to hitting the tee peg prior to the golf ball, but missing the tee peg after the golf ball. So that's really ensuring that my golf club bottoms out before the golf ball, in which case, if it does bottom out before the golf ball, that golf club will then be rising through the hit, and that is a great way to optimize, as we said earlier, the launch, the spin, and it often helps you with the strike as well. Often, a lot of the golfers who hit down will hit too high in the club face, that reduces ball speed. There's a lot of knock-on effects from what happens with that negative angle of attack. So the hit and miss drill, it's an idea, it's a concept, it's building the right ideas in your head, so when you're over that golf ball, you've got a clear picture of what you're trying to do. You're trying to get the golf club to bottom out much earlier and then rise up through the hit. Those are the 3 things that I see golfers slipping into more than any others: poor setups, club face open, and hitting down on the golf ball. Therefore, if we can address those and we can improve those, we should be able to do a few things. We should be able to hit more fairways, and we should be able to advance that ball much further down the fairway. It is a much, much easier game if we can play our second shot from a fairway position and are certainly closer to the green position. Right, let me have a go. This is the 4th hole. It's a long one. It's pretty wet at the moment, so there's not a lot of roll, so I need a good drive down here. So, ball is forward, but my shoulder alignment is good, and I've got some tilt away. Club face under control, hit up. Little bit up the right side, probably just going to catch a little bit of the fairway, but it was a lovely strike, flight was fantastic, so that would probably have optimized my distance for my club's speed, and that's really what we're trying to do with this little exercise, is give you the most out of your current swing. Hopefully that is helpful to you, something that's practical that you can take to the course next time you play. Hopefully you can hit some more fairways. I guarantee if you do hit more fairways, you'll lower your scores, and that is really what we're all trying to do. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully that is helpful to you. Click the like button if you liked it. Pop a comment down below, I'd love to hear from you. And if you haven't already, then please subscribe to my channel. There's loads more videos already on there. There's more going up weekly, so just click the link in the description box. It'll allow you to subscribe. It's absolutely free, and I'm hopefully, I should say, going to help you play some better golf. Thanks again for watching. Hopefully, we'll see you again soon.